Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of Office Hours. I hope everyone is doing well. Colette, it's been so long. I shall bring you in.
I
Hello.
took a long break.
Yes, I was worried for you. I was now and then I thought I said to Flo, where's Colette gone? I hope she's okay. It's good to see you. How is everything?
Well, it's my passion project and my retirement project, so I didn't really have to work.
Okay. But you're back at it, I take it.
Yeah. Yes, I'm back at it, and there's like a whole bunch of changes that you guys have done, and I have two questions. So
Okay.
I don't know if anyone else has joined, but I have two questions. One is probably pretty simple, the other one maybe not as much.
Okay, cool. Let's jump into it.
So the first, well, I guess I have three questions. What is the fastest way to catch up on what has happened in the last 7 months?
It's a good question. So honestly, the best way would probably be to go through the changelog emails. So every month, the marketing team sends out a changelog email of just what's been done in the month. So that would probably be the best thing. And then for each major feature in a release, they include a link to the documentation for that feature. So that's probably the best way.
Okay. Okay, I'll go and check if I have those because, yeah.
I'll
okay,
also,
I'll go and check.
yeah. Let me know if not, because I can check with them. It's a bit late now, but I can check with them tomorrow if they might have like some kind of blog area where they post it there and not just by emails. So I can check it for you.
I did go through some of the videos on YouTube to see kind of like, new releases and stuff. So one thing that I did notice is that you guys released a new version of pop-up, how you do pop-ups from the old version. And my question was going to be if I should go ahead and try and switch all of my pop-ups to that or not. Is there something amazingly different now?
No, it's funny. Someone asked this exact question last week. Honestly, it'd be worthwhile experimenting with them because they are very powerful and see if you like them a lot. But there's not inherently anything more functional about them. It's more just a developer experience thing. They're just a bit cleaner to use. But if you've got 20 different pop-ups set up in your project that aren't using the pop-ups, then I wouldn't worry about it too much because it would be a lot of work to transfer them. It's more just a developer UX thing. So it's your call, but wouldn't introduce any new functionality.
Yeah, because it seemed like before you had to keep that variable and turn it on and off, and it seemed like now it's a little bit more streamlined.
Yep, it's a quality of life thing. it's up to you if you want to go through the process of moving everything to it.
Okay, cool. My next question, because my backend is Xano, and I saw that they actually had a really cool feature where now you can create AI agents in there, which was amazing. I actually managed to create an AI agent. It is doing pretty much everything that I needed to do. And then I started integrating it into WeWeb. And I'm not really using I guess, a streaming response from it. I actually have no idea how to set it up as a streaming response, but I don't think that it actually does streaming, period, because it's more of I guess not as much as a ChatGPT experience, but it's kind of like, oh, it gives you the response. So then I was integrating it with the WeWeb chat, and I think you guys had a video of how you do the AI agent, but it was really streaming and integrating directly with ChatGPT, and that's how you were doing the streaming response in the video. So I was trying to figure out how can I simulate a little bit more of a thinking response of the agent while it's actually thinking before it gives me the response, so it's not just sitting there. What I managed to do is I basically just pushed into the messages array something that's just saying thinking ... But I wasn't sure if there was anything that's a little bit more built in to the component that it can be a little bit more interactive.
Are you using our native chat element, or have you built something custom?
No, I'm using your native chat, the new one, the AI chat.
Yeah, so if you're using the native one, unfortunately, there isn't any way to add a loader. But what you can do, and we had someone as well in the office hours who's done quite well with this, is you can fork the AI chat. I'm not sure if since you've been gone, you've seen forking at all. But whenever you have the element selected, I can show you if you're not too sure how to find it. But you can, in the top right, there's the 3 dots, and when you click the 3 dots, there's fork component, and then once you do fork it, you can ask our AI to edit it. So you could fork the component and then say to AI, hey, I'm not sure how actually best would be to do it off the top of my head, but you could say, I want some way to show a loader inside of a message, and it will figure out the best way to do that and then expose it to you via the properties of the component.
Okay, guess that makes sense. Yeah, I was trying out I think that at some point I had asked the AI to create something, and I think that initially I had asked it to create a chat component, and then it tried to create an AI chat component from scratch instead of using the built-in one. So I wasn't sure how that works. And then I was checking my token usage, and it was 1.2 million out of 10 or whatever in 2 messages, and that seemed
a lot.
like a lot.
Yeah.
So I was trying to be like, okay, how stingy should I be with it?
I would, if you're unsure how to fork, I'll just put the link to the docs in the chat quickly, just where to find it. But even if it will take up tokens, obviously, but how much manual work it would be on your side to figure out, actually, to be honest with you, Paulette, that because you're using the native chat, because we don't offer a way to show a loader, there just simply isn't a way to do it outside of the hacky way you did it with putting loading ... as the text. So unless you wanted to build something manually, which would take a bunch of time, the tokens would, although it's tokens, it would save you a bunch of time compared to the alternative.
Okay, I will try that. Those are my questions. Wasn't that much. I think I have a lot more questions for Xano.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you saw, by the way, so since you've been gone, we've started working on our own backend, and we hope to launch it in around March time. So yeah, we're going to do some testing soon. So I'd be really curious to get your thoughts on it, because it's the full stack experience. So you can still use Xano, of course, but if you wanted to, it's like WeWeb's workflows, but you can now create APIs using WeWeb's workflow interface, and there's a lot of cool stuff you can kind of do in the interim.
Yeah, what I found very easy or very cool with Xano Xano, and I don't know if you guys are planning that, is I really needed the ability to call lambdas and have a very complex logic in that lambda, because initially I was trying to build some of that logic in the visual interface and it was just crap. And
Yeah.
some of, like, especially because I'm doing some financial calculations, there is like not real easy way to do that when you're doing it through a visual experience. So I really needed the lambda functionality. So I don't know what you guys have planned for that, but that's one
Yeah.
thing that I think is a more
Yeah.
complex logic is needed.
It will be there. So in the same way in the front-end workflows, you can run the custom JavaScript action. Whenever you build, let's call it like a backend workflow with the new WeWeb backend, then you can use a custom JavaScript action. And that's the same as a Lambda in Xano, where you can just run whatever JavaScript you want and import different libraries.
Yeah, oh, that's nice. Yeah. The other thing I'm really enjoying from what Xano has released is the ability to actually do the Xano script, where
Yeah.
you can actually go and actually edit the code, copy paste the code, or I actually have been using Cloud Code. It's mouthful. Cloud Code to do some of the functionality locally and then pushing it up, and that
Yeah, no,
was
it's very cool. It's very, I know, I agree completely. It's so cool. I do the same thing with in Cursor, where I have it hooked up to the Xano script extension, and it's very cool. So that one won't be there at launch, unfortunately, but hopefully in the future we can add something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Other than that, I'm getting back to my app, and yeah, I need to go and see if anything I need to improve or not. So
no worries. Well, good to see you again. If there's any more questions, feel free to pop back in.
Okay, I'm gonna go and look through it a little bit and see, because I don't know if there is anyone else with questions.
Not just yet. So that's why if there's any more questions, feel free to just jump back in.
Because last week I got confused because it said, like on YouTube, it said that it starts at 12, and there was some other person at 12 as well, and we're like, okay, what's happening? And then the other person mentioned that, oh, it's usually at 11.
That was my bad. I had to cancel it at really short notice, so I do apologize. It was supposed to be then, but I had to cancel it at really short notice.
Okay, cool. Well, if there is no one else, at some point you can tell me what else is new.
It's the back end. I can't show you too much though, otherwise Flo will kill me because he's not here. But actually, what I'll tell you what
well,
is,
not again, but like, even from what you guys have released, like I don't know, just I know you mentioned that there are emails, but are there any other cool functionality that I should pay attention to that was released within the last? Hell, it's actually more than 6-7 months. I feel like the last time I actually touched this thing was almost a year ago.
I'm trying to think because we've been working on the back end since around August time. So I think probably about 2 months since you've been gone into it. We've just been all in on the back end. So not much has happened since then. But since in those 2 months initially when you were gone, I think. So one of the big changes were with our AI, you can define what context it takes in. So before it would take in the entire context of your project. But now when you have the AI chat open at the very bottom, you can pass in like what variables and collections it should use from your project, but also what parts of the project. So should it use the entire page that you have open? Should it use the entire project? Should it take in all your pop-ups? That kind of thing. So controlling the context. And I'm trying to rack my brain now.
So question actually on that, because when I go and select like an element or something like that, and I go into the AI, I always have a little exclamation point that says the context is too big.
That would be because by default, I think it's because by default you have, by default, the entire project context will be passed in. But when you have the AI chat open, if you open that little plus menu, from there on the first tab of the panel that opens, you can then control exactly what context gets passed in. And so presumably right now it's trying to send the entire project and it will just be too much. But you can say send only the page or the element, whatever it might be.
I didn't even pay attention to that arrow. And I'm guessing that's why I blew out through so many tokens.
that'll be it then, yeah. And then
Okay.
the other
That
big
helps.
thing was the Figma plugin. So now when you use the Figma plugin to import Figma designs, it can do more than just import the designs. It can import the design system. So take all like the color variables and the typographies and that kind of thing. But you can also map components. So if you have a button component in Figma, you can say, okay, this button component in Figma aligns to this button component in WeWeb. So when you import the designs, it will automatically use all those components that you've mapped in the designs. So you don't have to go through and replace like all the standard elements that it uses if you're into Figma.
I did Figma when I first was designing my project, but I haven't really touched it since. Question on the context then again for the AI. Would it know what components I have in my shared libraries? Mainly because if I want to ask it to create, for example, like a new page that is like, let's say, like a form with a bunch of fields, I would want it to use the components that I already have created, because I have created separate components for each of the input fields with some additional logic. Would it know to use those, or it will just do its own thing and just create it based on the base components included with WeWeb?
Are they the components you're talking about? Are they no-code components or coded components?
They're no code. They're just basically, they're in a separate library, but there is basically, I took the inputs and I customized the look and everything. So now instead of adding it each time, I just add the component and it has a title and everything included. So now my look across my application is the same, but they are all the standard components, just with a wrapper on top for just a few of the settings that I would want.
Yeah, so unfortunately right now the AI can't utilize your no-code components. If you had a custom coded component, then it can interact with that and use it and is aware of it. But unfortunately for now, it's not aware of the no-code components. It's definitely on the planned features, but unfortunately right now it can't.
Okay. Cool.
And just so you, I'm in the chat for you, Prolette. If you're curious, I'm just going to put a link to Flo and our CEO Raf did a demo a few weeks back of what's planned for the back end. So if you are curious, feel free to have like a little watch of that where Flo demos all the stuff that's going to come in the back end.
Where is that? Oh, okay, I see.
In the YouTube chat.
Okay, I'll start it then. Okay, pausing it. Okay, cool. Anything else cool that I should know about?
That's the big cool thing. I can't even. There's too many things in it to go through. There's APIs, there's middleware, there's event triggers, there's integrations. So like email sending is a massive pain in the backside. So there'll be built-in integrations to send emails with like resend and SendGrid and Postmark and all these different things. Generate PDFs as well. That'll be an integration. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff coming with it.
Okay. Yeah, for now, I guess I'm focusing on putting the AI chat thing and I guess updating my app live. It hasn't been done in a while.
Well, try to fork the chat. It should be, if all goes to plan with the AI, it should be pretty quick. So if you have any troubles with it, feel free to jump back in.
Yeah, I would imagine I can just basically ask it something about like, adding like thinking state, and that's it, and just do something.
Yeah.
No, I was actually, but I was still pleasantly surprised that I could do the AI chat so quickly, considering I was trying to use N8N for that and all this other stuff. Now I don't have to deal with any of that.
You just do it all in Xano, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, nice. And it was nice that I can create the tools very easily in Xano, because realistically, that seems like the most important part of the AI, right? Giving it and passing correct the information. So it was much more streamlined because I already had majority of the APIs. It was just making them as tools.
Makes sense. Well, I wish you the best of luck in the meantime.
Thank you.
No, speak soon, Philip.
See you.
Hey, Abbas. Hey, I just want to know, is this possible using the email extension? Can I use it to invite people to my platform based on the role that's assigned to them? Yes, but it wouldn't be the most secure thing in the world if you're talking about using our built-in email extension, because you would want to handle the actual link generation. You'd want to handle in your backend, and then because you're handling that in your backend, it's always just best practice to then also send the email from your backend. And sending it via our email extension would mean it's done via the front end. But it depends a bit on your use case. What backend are you using? Because at the end of the day, it's definitely doable. There's no difference between, I mean, how you send an email that contains a magic link, how you do that doesn't really change between using our extension or using it from your backend. It's more of just a security thing. Yes, if you're using Xano as the backend, I definitely recommend just using that to send an email. Let me have a quick look to see if they have. So Xano has what they call actions. It's kind of like templates. So let me just quickly see if they have some nice action templates for some kind of mail sender that you could potentially use. I will put a link in the chat now. Yeah, Prelet says she's using SendGrid with Xano. So I would definitely, for security reasons, just recommend doing it via your backend. Because if you do it via the front end, you could generate the link on the back end, but then when you send it to the front end, best practice wise, it could be intercepted in some way. So I've put a link in the chat to Xano's actions for marketing, and just on there, they have a couple of send email actions. So one is for Brevo and one is for resend. So I'd recommend exploring those, or if you don't want to use one of those, you could use something like SendGrid, like Prelet's using, or also Postmark is pretty good. You'll just need to manually set up the API request in Xano, because I don't think Xano has a templated action for them. But with all of that said, if you aren't too concerned about security and you just want to get something out the door, then you could still absolutely use our email extension. So you could generate the link on the back end from Xano. So let's say you have an API in Xano, and in that API, you generate your magic link for this new user. You generate the magic link, you send that to WeWeb, and then in WeWeb, when it has that result from the Xano API, you could then send that to someone using our built-in email extension. if again you want to fuss about security for now. And I will also, if you need it, Arbas, Xano has a pretty nice video on kind of the flow of setting up a magic link that signs someone in or creates an account in this case. Because like basically 95% of the setup you'd need to do for this would be on the Xano side. The WeWeb side would be pretty simple if it just involves link generation. So I've put a link in the chat to a video they did a while back. The UI for Xano has changed quite a bit because the video is 4 years old now, but the same features still exist in Xano. So the core flow would be the same of how you'd go about doing this. And Sean has joined us. Hello, Sean. How's it going?
Hello, sir. How are you?
Good, good, good. It's good to see you. Not in crunch time this time. As in like near the end, you know.
Yeah. Well, I think I missed you last week. I think you guys weren't able to do it.
Yeah, that's my bad. I had to cancel it at really short notice, so I do apologize.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, I went into withdrawal, but
well, it's you're back in rehabilitation now. Then I guess
I am. I survived barely, but good. Well, appreciate you coming on. Just a couple quick questions. Just a couple kind of best practices too along the way.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see. Let me share my screen. All right, so I've got a nice little left collapse over here on, and I had AI do it, but I think it didn't take the whole gray bar container and they just did the inside container. So I want to do the whole gray bar of the whole navigation.
Makes sense. So if you put it into edit mode, the first thing we'll need to do is figure out how it set up the logic to collapse what actually does collapse.
Right. If I click on it and go to, you want to see the workflow?
Yeah, and then so it's is menu collapsed, and then if you come out of this, and then we'll need to find the how do I explain this? The most parent element that is moving. So the one, I guess, that is inside of the gray, the one that's actually is changing its width, basically. So the one that does.
Oh, it's probably this one. Well,
yeah.
The other parent of this one's static menu. No, it's probably.
I think it'll be a bit higher.
Or it could be.
That one maybe.
Context.
Yeah, let's see. And then if you on the right hand side, if you go back into the pencil tab, and then there's a few different ways it could have done this. So if you click on this, there we go, width. So the width is bound. And so that makes sense. So I think all we need to do here is if you copy this formula that it's created, and if you now click on the left menu, yep, I think you get where this is going. Although it's also got it bound here, okay. Menu, okay. I think if you paste this formula here,
get rid of everything.
Yeah, and then paste it in. Okay, and let's try this. This might not be it, but there might be one more thing, but let's try it.
Oh,
okay.
Gosh. Man, I can't stump you. Dang.
It's not the cleanest thing in the world because I think the transitions are a bit different, where like the background instantly collapses, but the one inside of it has a transition. But it does a job, I guess.
Yeah, that's good. That's good enough. Thank you. I'll
Cool.
narrow it down a little bit, but okay, good. And then, like, if I want this left menu to appear on every page, I componentize it. Is that correct? And I think it already is because it's blue. Or that means
Yeah, so this is there's kind of two ways you can do this repurposing of elements across pages. So one is with multi-page sections. So right now you've got those sections, but they're blue, which means they're a multi-page section. And so you could just put this side menu on however many pages you want. And anytime you make a change to it on one page, that change will reflect across all pages. So it basically just creates instances of this section. But you can also create no-code components. I don't know if you've experimented with them at all, because there's two different they're two different things.
Can't they be? Can a component also be a multi-page section?
No, so you can't turn a section into a component. But it's kind of a nuanced thing. For this use case, you could just stick with what you have now and then use this side menu section across pages, and it would do the job.
Okay.
The no-code component would be more so for like a button. So like if you wanted to have a button component across pages, you'd want that to be a no-code component.
Got it. So the difference being there's like real code behind it. Like
kind
real
of
JavaScript or workflow.
Probably more so. It's more I guess smaller blocks, because like a section is the biggest possible block you can have. But if you need something a bit, I guess even just anything that's smaller than a section, that's more granular than a section, then you want it to be a no-code component.
And a section is the highest level you can go. It's like
exactly,
a whole row.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the alert, the side menu, the deals, detail, drawer, they're all sections, and you can't go any higher than those.
Right. And then I've noticed you can't do like left, right, and center on sections, right?
Yeah.
You have to put a div underneath it to get your...
Exactly, yeah. Sections are kind of a unique beast in that sense, where...
Yeah. Just a quick note to the users is like, I spent forever trying to center something in a div, and I didn't realize that the left margin had to be auto. It was set at 0. So it would never center. It would always stay on the left-hand side. And so obviously margin takes precedence over center. I was like, oh, it took me forever.
But you'll never make the same mistake again. That's the beauty of it.
No,
you always have to make the mistake once, and then, yeah.
So if I'm going to just drop this in quickly into a new page, why don't I just add a new page and just see?
Yeah.
Right. It's just, that's interesting. When you change I took the slash off, it didn't take it off the, So like once you write it once, it doesn't update the path default. That's interesting.
Mm.
And you notice like in some spots when you edit, I think you guys already know this. Like a lot of times when you click on, let's say a number, just add a section really quick. Like on the left, if there's a number already in it, you want to like double click it and replace it. Sometimes like the left, this one's not doing it. You know how sometimes you double click and you can't, the backspace or delete doesn't work the way you want it to? Have you noticed that in a lot of times when you're editing numbers in the pencil?
I honestly don't think I have. So if it's one you experience a lot, please do put in a ticket, because I don't think I have personally had it before.
Yeah, it's like maybe because I'm low in memory sometimes. When I like double click, it doesn't like highlight. And yeah, I'll try to take a video for it. And then, all right. So if I want to do the left section navigation, what's the quickest way?
So if you open up the add menu.
The admin menu, which is
in the that one, yeah.
On the add.
Add. And then if the one beneath coded, there you go, multi-page sections. And this is all the sections that are in your app, basically. And the ones at the top are the multi-page sections. Have I lost Sean? I think I've lost Sean.
Oh, I think you just lost my video.
There we go. Okay, cool. You're back. So yeah, the link sections are all the multi-page sections. Exactly, yeah. And then you'll want to create an instance. Yeah. Create an instance means then when you, I think you get,
Yeah. Copy if I want it
there you go.
to be separate forever.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly.
Okay, that's the quickest way. And then, all right. And then that'll also, as I jump from page to page, it won't reload because it's in cache.
Exactly. So multi-page sections are amazing if you want to maximize performance. That's why a side menu is like the ideal example of this, because you'll have that same side menu across all pages. So it won't have to constantly re-render when you change pages.
Okay. All right. Very good. And then I want to show you a potential bug. I can report it, but maybe I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
So charts.js, there's a lot of JavaScript behind it. And every once in a while, like the chart just acts funny. And I don't know if it's me but the chart just kind of disappeared. And we didn't use AI, but I do notice AI is way better when you're just creating a page. When it has to edit, it sometimes just hacks and does something. It breaks something when you're in edit mode or when there's a bunch of stuff already on the page. And it uses a lot of more tokens, I think, when you do more in edit. So, all right. So fresh pages are definitely the way to go on.
For now, yeah. With the new massive launch that's still in the works, there'll be we're hoping the guys are working on a massive upgrade for the AI, and we're hoping we can launch that at the same time as the new backend launch. If not, it'll come like 2 or 3 weeks after. But this should fix a lot of these problems because it's basically just completely new architecture for how the AI works. So it should improve this kind of thing a lot.
Greg, and then in that case, we'll be able to edit the additional JavaScript it makes that we constantly have to hit reset for. We'll be able to edit.
You mean as in like the where we saw you had to reset the styling properties for the margin and padding where they were? Yeah, it should hopefully fix a lot of those problems. Yeah.
But is it going to create, like, when it can't use the interface tools, it creates JavaScript, right, underlying to fix in CSS. Yeah. So I wonder if we can't typically edit that.
Yeah, that I'm
not sure.
I mean, I haven't had a chance to get hands-on testing with it yet, but based on how much they've changed the architecture, I would imagine that would be resolved, because right now that happens just because it's kind of an architectural issue. The AI doesn't fully understand how to work in WeWeb land. And based on the new architecture, it should stick to the WeWeb guardrails a lot more, let's say. So that should be resolved.
Yeah. Right. Okay. All right. So this had a bunch of charts in it, and all of a sudden they disappeared.
I can't see your screen if you're wanting to share it.
All right. And they literally just, like, the charts kind of disappeared without really doing much of anything. And so I was trying to fix them, and instead I had to roll back because I couldn't get the data. And I mean, this could just be like constantly going in and see what changed in the JavaScript. I don't want to spend time doing that, but maybe just something really quick.
The only thing I can possibly think of as a quick fix is if you open up the data sets on the right side. I just, I want to make sure that at least, maybe this is why there's no data set being returned. So the current value, it doesn't have there's nothing being returned, it seems, for the data.
Would that be at the top, you mean?
I think it would be at the bottom. So usually you need to have a return statement somewhere, and whatever you return. Okay, so there is a return data set, but for some reason, nothing's... It'd be tough to know right now, just going through this, like why nothing's being returned. But off the top of my head, just quickly looking at it, I'd suspect that might be the main issue, because so this one, but this one's working, so that makes sense.
Yeah, this one's working.
Yeah.
So it's like return chart data that says a different value at the bottom there. So I rolled back, one big deal, but I just wonder if you knew offhand what.
But this kind of one, I don't think it's a WeWeb thing. I think it's more of a chart.js thing, and how the JavaScript is set up, because it's not the most straightforward thing in the world to set up all this JS for each thing that chart.js needs. So, I can't say definitively, maybe it's an issue on our side, but just with how much JS goes into all this stuff, I think it would be something to do in the JS with one of the props.
All right, so I saved the copy. You mean let me raise the ticket just so they can look into it, because I doubt it was me, because it just happened. All the charts happened at once, so it's like,
okay.
Unless I went in and edited 6 charts,
you didn't even make a change.
I wasn't doing AI.
You didn't even make a change. You just suddenly stopped working.
Well, I was making changes to different parts of the page, or maybe different parts of the page, but I didn't go into 6 charts.
Okay, but you edited this page with the AI?
Yeah, I was working on this page, not using AI.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's probably worthwhile putting in a ticket then, so the guys can investigate it. Because yeah, it's
all right. Sounds good.
They can
and then
dig
how
into
soon
it.
do you think I'm in the beta test list? How soon do you think? I know you can't do dates probably, but
no, I mean we're planning early March, but with hopefully not. Who knows? Maybe it'll be a good Christmas tree or something. But no, we're planning early March. But I know how these things go, it's pretty more likely late March. And then hopefully we can do some wider testing towards the end of this month, and then we can open it up to people like yourself. But
I hope they make this easier to edit code. I know you can go full screen, but when you go full screen, you can't see your changes.
In what way?
Like this is way too wide. Like when you make changes to this, you can see it update the page. You can't, because this is such
a okay. Yeah.
I would definitely make this like half the size of the page instead of.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Unfortunately, I think this interface won't change at launch. However, that's a very good point. That would be, or at least if you could resize this
stay
yourself.
In this little tiny box so I can see changes.
Yeah.
But if you hit this, it should go like half page or whatever, like just resizable or something.
Yeah, no, 100%. That should be resizable.
Yeah. So if I do suggestions like that, where do I throw them?
In the same place. So in the help menu at the top, there's a help button. In the editor itself.
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
And then if you click report a bug, there's in the category you can say feedback, and so you can leave it all here.
All right, I'll do
and
that.
This is the best place for it, because then it goes directly, it creates a ticket in Jira, and then it goes through the product team and all the rest of it. So literally every feedback ticket gets looked at. So it's the best way to do it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this thing should be a slidable a little further. So I'll make those suggestions. I mean, I'm doing a lot of charts, and it's just really tough, to edit them so. All right, I'll let you get to other people. So appreciate your help.
No worries. And by the way, Prolette was just saying in the chat, if you're for the graphs, what she does is she actually turns the graphs into a component. So yeah, you could turn it into a component. And then I guess if you always had the same kind of graph, you could just pass in dynamic values to the JS. So if you, let's say you had 2 charts, the exact same configuration, the only difference was the colors, you could have a color property and just dynamically pass in the color property to your custom JS, if that makes sense.
Oh, that way I wouldn't have to go into each one.
Exactly, yeah.
Just modify the component. Oh, cool. Thanks, such and such.
Prolette. Thank you, Prolette.
Thanks for that, yeah. All right. Thanks. Have a good day.
You too, Sean. Take care.
Bye.
And I will go through the other stuff you left in the chat, Prolette. I have another question. Did I miss how I can show AI chats in the AI chat element? I saw messages, but not chat section. No, unfortunately not. If you mean like showing a history of all the person's previous chats, no. Unfortunately, you'd have to set something up for that on the left-hand side. You did mention that you saw the video that we did on using the AI chat, but just in case you saw a different one, I'm just going to pop it in the chat for you quickly, because in that video, I do indeed have let me find it. Is it this one? Yeah, I'll send you the link to this in the chat. It's a half an hour long video, so it's a long one, but feel free to put it on like 2x speed and just watch the first. Sorry, yeah, I'll bring you in now. Hello, Prolette, can you hear me?
Yeah. So I saw the video that was linked from the documentation. That was I think about 30 something minutes. And I saw that there was a list of chats, and that's why I was like, oh, did I miss something that was built in? But it's just, I already built something independently. I just wanted to make sure that if there was something built in, to use the built-in thing.
No, yeah, it's just something manual, the thing in the video.
Okay.
Cool, and I'm just looking at other stuff. Whoever greenlit the search properties feature, yeah, you can thank Orly for that one. It's a very nice feature. Talk to an expert feature, is that suitable for talking with someone to discuss the architecture? Yeah, so yeah, Prolette, the talk to an expert, that is, it's made for that basically. So it's just an hour session with one of our support experts. And I mean, it's basically just like a one-to-one thing. You can go through whatever you want in your app.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking that it would be good to kind of review what I have done to see if I'm doing something blatantly wrong or something blatantly like bad for performance. But I think it's a good feature, and I understand it's paid, but it's fine. The pricing is very good pricing.
Yeah, it's Daniel or Rivan will do the session with you, I think. And yeah, they know WeWeb like the back of their hand. So you can use it. You can use it as long as it's WeWeb specific. They'll go through some Xano stuff, but they couldn't just spend an hour on going through Xano. But whatever you want to go through in your app, they'll dedicate the hour to whatever you want, basically.
Yeah, I understand. I think my questions would be more like if I'm doing the connection or the calls to Xano correctly from WeWeb perspective. I understand it's WeWeb specific.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll continue going through the release emails.
Cool. Super. Cheers. Yes, is Sean still here? I don't know if Sean's still here. If you're still here, Sean, give us a message in the chat, and Prolette can kindly give you a walkthrough of how it's set up. I think he might have bounced, unfortunately, Prolette. Thank you for offering though. No worries. Have you been to the Xano office hours before? I've never had a chance to attend. Who is it that holds them? Is Daniel in them? Brevo. I'm not too sure, Sean. You mean as in by the way, Sean, since you're back, Prolette was offering to show you the charts components. If you'd like to see a setup. But in terms of issues with Brevo, I'm honest. So I saw Brevo for the first time actually when I was looking through Xano's actions a couple of minutes ago. But I guess it's for sending emails or something of the like, but I'm not too sure. Maybe they have a status page or something. What do you mean, just like in general, using it with WeWeb, would there be any issues? Hey, Farouk, any idea when the new WeWeb will go live? So the plan is next month. Fingers crossed it can be early March, if not probably late March. But we just want to get it in the hands of people now. So I think March is pretty definitive. And we should do some more. We're going to do a closed beta first and then more of an open beta. And of course, open beta, anyone is welcome to join. So that should hopefully be towards the end of this month. And you are more than welcome to test it and provide absolutely all feedback you may have so we can make it as perfect as possible. But to answer your question, March. Yeah. We all miss you, Prolette. Or missed you. Super. Looking forward to it, Farouk. I went to a meetup in Austin with Xano and there was someone using WeWeb. That's how I heard about it. And I wish there were more like this here. Yeah, we need more WeWeb events. I need any excuse to have to go on a world tour. But there is a lot of no coders in Austin. Like we have someone from the team in Austin. I know Daniel from Xano is in Austin. Sean is taking up on that offer, Prolette. Let me know if you'd like me to bring you back in. God, everyone's in Austin. Cool. I will bring you back in. Hello.
Okay, as soon as I figure this all out, let's see. Let me know when you see my screen.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, let me now find my screen. Okay, so what I did is I basically wrapped the chart in a component, and this component has a few settings here. Things like title, this way it either shows up or not, and just the graph data that I receive it, but then a bunch of settings that I want to include. So if I have month, what is the field that I'm using, what is the label, and a bunch of different settings. This way I can reuse this graph. It's the same one as this one, but I don't have to go into the JavaScript at all after I initially set it up, and I can just change these settings at the top level and go through it. Inside, you can see it's just this flag box. It has the title, which is linked to the title property, and it has the graph, which is the one that has the JavaScript. So in here, I have a wrapper function that formats my dates, but basically just the month data, which is coming from the properties of the component. So I don't have to go and modify the actual craziness. And then this is the part where I think that you were saying there is a lot of JavaScript. And yes, it will be nice to be able to expand this. But so here, what I did is I actually used the properties and I just inserted them in here. The names are not pretty, which kind of sucks, but like I had to put a comment to make sure that I'm keeping track of it. But this is where you would usually write your own JavaScript, but instead I'm just using the attribute that is on a component level, and I don't have to touch this JavaScript again. All I'm doing is I'm modifying the component attributes at top level. And this took a little bit for me to set up, but it's so much easier now because all of the graphs that I'm using, I am just dropping them, changing the properties, and that's it. I don't have to mess with this craziness in here. And same things with the options. They are bringing a few of the attributes like the colors.
Very cool. And how much of this was you, Prolette, and how much of it was AI, out of curiosity?
Oh, this was all me.
All Prolette. There you go, Sean.
Hopefully that was helpful.
Yes, I'm curious now. How did you manage to set up the map chart at the bottom of the US?
Okay, that one is actually a custom component that I had. This was before you guys as AI. This is a custom component that I had, I think either ChatGPT or something create for me. But yeah, it's custom built one. I think it's in coded components.
Nice. Okay, cool. Very cool.
Where are the coded components?
They will be in the, if you press more, in the, on the far, if you click more. Yeah, and then component editor. But sorry, you were right, Paulette. So there's two places you can find them. You can find them here, but they are also in the add menu.
Yeah, it's a custom coded one that I had help from ChatGPT created.
Wow, still very cool.
So, but you guys should add it.
Sorry?
You guys should add map component to your components.
But you should put this on there. I mean, this is a cool thing for the marketplace as well, because there's 1,000,001 different components that would be useful. And yeah, we can do as much as we can, but this kind of thing would be super for the marketplace. If you've thought about it. If not, it might be one you could upload to the marketplace.
I didn't even know there was marketplace.
Well, there you go. Maybe you'd like it, Prolette. If you're curious, Prolette, about the marketplace, you can access it from that more menu, I think. You can access it from somewhere in the headers. I know, sorry, I think it's in assets. When you click the assets header at the top, there's a marketplace button, I believe. And that's where you can find everything.
Oh. Okay, I'll have to take a look at what's in there. I haven't looked.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in there. I put a component library in that marketplace a few weeks back that has a lot of stuff in it. So if you want to save some time, feel free to check it out.
Which one you said?
In there's a tab for, I think there's a tab called it says templates and libraries, I think. You have a tab select at the top. You know what? I'll put a link in the YouTube chat to it if you're curious.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just basically just a library of all the components I've created over like the past 3 years and just different projects and stuff. So.
Oh, cool.
You're more than welcome to take inspiration from it, clone them, do whatever you want with them.
Cool, thank you. Okay, time for Zano hours.
Thank you for the walkthrough, Paulette. You can come every week and do a new walkthrough.
I don't know what else I'll be showing. Okay, bye.
Cool. Right, bye. Hey, Bess. So also I have a question related to importing designs from Figma to WeWeb. Sometimes it makes things bigger or an exact width and height is in Figma. So any tips to get better results? The biggest thing with Figma for the designs to import correctly is to make sure as many of the frames in Figma as possible have auto layout enabled. We don't have a good video on this because it's a Figma thing, but I mean, I'll try and find quickly something on YouTube. Because basically when you have, I think this video is good. I haven't had a chance to look at it. I've just Googled, so I've just looked up Figma auto layout on YouTube. But basically when you enable auto layout on a frame in Figma, it takes on traditional web development sizing. So like if you have an outer box in Figma and then an inner box, if you, apply auto layout to that inner box and auto layout to the outer box, that inner box is then aware of the position and sizing of the outer box and it will adapt to it. If you don't have auto layout applied in Figma, then you can just position stuff wherever you want and it's not aware of the position and sizing of all the stuff around it. And that's what auto layout does. It makes elements in Figma frames aware of the position and size of other frames, which is what you get in WebDev. And for it to import correctly into WeWeb, because WeWeb is CSS and all the rest of it, you need to make sure as many frames as possible in Figma have auto layout applied. So that would be my biggest tip. Can you name a few templates in libraries that have lots of workflows? Lots of workflows. It depends what kind of workflows you want, Sean, I think. I mean, I'm not too sure off the top of my head, but probably if like workflows is the thing you're after, then I imagine the templates would be the best one because they're full project templates. And there'll be a few different, I mean, depending on the template, there'll be a bunch of different workflows inside those templates. It kind of just depends on what kind of workflows you're after. Yeah, I'd recommend then probably the template section, just because that's full project templates. And so there's logic in those templates. So if it's like a CRM, it will have the workflows that you get in a CRM. If it's, I see one there's AI inventory management. If it's inventory management, sorry, then it will have the workflows associated with it and so on. So I think probably just anything in the template section that catches your eye is probably the best because it's a full project. Although I see what you mean by most are just design. I haven't had a chance to check these out, but just by looking at them, there is that AI inventory management one that I mentioned that I can see in templates. It's 6 rows down. I'll put a link to it in the chat if you need it. You found one, Muslim? Okay, cool. But yeah, templates is another thing that will become super useful once we get the backend launched, because right now templates are a bit limiting because you could use any backend under the sun. And so it's kind of tough to create very elaborate templates because there's only so much you can do with just using the front end. So once we have the full stack experience, templates will become a massive thing because we can then create full stack templates and the world is kind of our oyster in that sense. Cool, right, that is us for this week. Thank you so much everyone for joining. We shall be here again, same time next week, Tuesday, 6 to 7 p.m. Central European time. Hopefully Flo can join me next week. It's just super busy these days because of how much stuff we need to prep for the back end, but fingers crossed he can join me. And if he does join me, I'll push him to do a little walkthrough of the new stuff. Super, right.